What's up, people? How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good day. Just sharing out to a couple places real quick. I gotta sneeze now. What's up, Miss Heather? Hold on. Excuse me. Had to sneeze. Sorry about that. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a good day today. Just gonna, I'm trying to not. I worked some this morning. I had to finish up something, but now I'm just trying to relax a little and not do a bunch of extra stuff that's happening. I'm trying to slow down a little bit. So I figured I would chat with you guys and just kind of talk comics and movies and let people ask whatever questions they might have concerning some of those topics. You're welcome to join in if you want to. If you're, thank you. If you're an artist or a creator, writer, inker, letterer, whatever the case may be, podcaster, you're welcome to jump on the show. And this is just an impromptu Creators Corner. And for those that don't know, Creator Corner is a show that I do. I try to do it like once a month. I've done like a couple episodes so far where we did a roundtable kind of talking to different people in the industry, getting perspectives and things of what they do. And this was just a kind of impromptu one. Like I said, I just didn't feel like sitting down and just grinding out some more work. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions you might have, concerning what I do in the industry. And for anyone that might be tuning in that don't know, I am a professional published cover artist and illustrator with about 70 or so published covers under my belt, ranging from indie projects to retailer exclusives for Image Comics, Dynamite Comics, stuff like that. Titles like Department of Truth, Haha, Ice Cream Man, Vampirella, Red Sonja, Stray Dogs, etc. Tons of indie stuff. Don't Pay the Ferryman. And a bunch of other indie titles through the last few years. I've also the creator of Psycho Sal, my creator-owned IP about a serial killer in New Orleans in the 1980s. We are currently on Kickstarter number 4. That's got about 8 days left on it. What's up, Mark? Cool. All right. Hope you're having a good time, man. So I've been around for a little bit, been doing it for 5 years now professionally, but yeah. Feel free to, like I said, if there's any certain things you want to talk about, industry questions, things like that. I think a lot of the stuff that we keep seeing, sadly though, too many people's trying to do too many shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of great talent out there for sure, and a lot of great talent. A lot of great books also. India is doing extremely well at the moment, in my personal opinion. Lots and lots to choose from, whether it's damn, I feel like my shirt is strangling me for some reason, which is weird considering it's not. Whether it's TNA style books you're into, or whether it's superhero style or action or horror or thrillers, there's a lot of really good indie books floating around at the moment. Don't Pay the Fair. I've always got to, talk about the ones that I've been involved with personally. just because I've read a good bit of those, and I've been super impressed with a lot of them. Like I said, don't pay the ferryman series is a really good one. Ferryman Tales, etc. Um, and then there's been let's see, what's some of the other ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Boom, 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 boom. The Ripper Gene has been a really interesting read so far. Then you got books like The Mortician. You got books like The Detour. Just to name a few that have been doing really well. And of course, you got indie creations, like um, Do You Poo and Hardly Thin, etc., that are just blowing it out of the water with how well those books keep doing and stuff. So I feel like I'm trying to get a damn headache. I look like hell I'm not. A lot of good movies floating around right now too. Everybody's bragging big time about this. What's it called? Oppenheimer. What the hell's the name of that damn movie? The new one that's about the guy that created, I guess, the atom bomb. Wow, I'm having a brain fart on his name. Anyway, that movie that's in theater right now. I personally know a few people that have went to see it, and they are saying it's an incredibly good movie. So I'll probably maybe try to check that out at some point too. What else is playing in the movies right now? Sound of Freedom is playing. Barbie is playing. A lot of people are claiming that's been a really good movie. Let's see. What else we got? Boom, 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 boom. God damn, Dale, you be sharing the hell out of people selling shit. Dale promoting the hell out of people selling videos. Yeah, Oppenheimer. What the hell's the name of it? Damn it! Am I saying the name right? I'm sure I'm not. Anyway, you guys know, what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, everybody. So far, I've not heard anybody talk shit on that one yet. They're too busy talking shit about some damn song that hurt their feelings one way or the other. Let's see, some new TV shows that just started back up. If you're into that kind of thing, What We Do in the Shadows is started its new season, and if you're not watching What We Do in the Shadows, you are severely missing out on. I think it's a hilarious ass comedy. It's a docu comedy where documentary crew are following around a house of vampires, and they're silly as hell. That's a great show. Let's see what else. Justified's new Oppenheimer. Thank you, Heather. Justified's new series has started on Hulu. Also, I believe it's Hulu. That one, I was a big fan of the original Justified series. I love Timothy Olyphant, if I'm saying his name correctly. I think he's a great actor. I love his charisma and the way he acts. And I love that original series. And like I was mentioning the other day, the reason I love that original series a lot is because all the characters, even though they're from the same region in Kentucky, and they fit a certain profile, they had their own personalities and things like that, and it made it really cool because the personalities were very rich. So the show was very engaging, no matter who was on the screen. They did really good with the actors they picked for that show. You definitely got to finish that series because that last season is crazy. But it's a great show. But there's only like 3 episodes, I think, 2 or 3 episodes up of the new Justified, and I've watched those. Now he's not in Kentucky no more; he's in Detroit. And like I said, the interesting thing about the other Justified being in Kentucky, again, it's the same genre of style people, same upbringing, living, everything. So very very same as far as a culture, but everyone had these very unique personalities that made the show extremely interesting. So far on this new Justified, and again, to be fair, I'm going to finish it all the way out before I make my final judgment. But because I'm going to show support to the show. The first 2 episodes or 3 episodes, whatever it is that I've watched so far, it doesn't have me like super hooked. Timothy's like the only thing that's got me hooked. And there's been lots of personalities in the show so far, but nothing that's just like that catches you and holds you. You know what I'm saying? Like the other show did. So, but we'll see. That could change. A lot of these actors I'm seeing are some actors I've never seen before. So it could be part of that, them new, and I'm not saying they're new because, just because I don't know who they are, don't recognize them, doesn't mean they hadn't been acting for a while. They could have been. I don't know. But we'll see. I'll keep watching that one to see what happens with that. But definitely check out What We Do in the Shadows. Now, if you've never watched the other one, watch it first, because there's the original What We Do in the Shadows that had a different House of Vampires that they did, and they weren't planning to do anymore. It was just kind of like a one-shot kind of thing they were doing, but it became such a little cult following and got a lot of attention that they made a new series, and we're on like season 3. It's a great show. It's a bit of a spoof in a way, not spoof in the way of like those movies that made fun of horror movies, whatever they were called. You know what I'm talking about. It's not a spoof in that way, but this is meant to be lighthearted and funny and just stupid, silly, so definitely give that a shot and see what you think of it. But watch the original first. Very, very interesting. Lots of goodies with that. Let's see what else we got. Trying to think what all. I mean, we got a bunch of movies coming out, of course. We got a bunch of movies coming out. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really concerned about watching that stuff. More power to you. I'm not really concerned about watching some show about doctors and Oxycontin and shit like that. Because at the end of the day, you got to have a little bit of common sense yourself about taking too much painkillers and shit like that. Doctors give you meds, and you got to be a little smart about it. Because the doctor's just going off what you're telling them in most cases. Now, that's for damn true. But anyway, I'm not concerned about that. I don't care shit. There's forever, and it is what it is. Hang on one second. Oh, okay. Have a good day, Heather. Let's see. Thank you, you too. What's up, Miss Nita? Everybody needs a little alone time with me sometimes, Nita. Damn it. Can't just be group fun. I always. Um, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one to speak on. Renfield. Renfield. I did watch Renfield. Um, um, I actually think Nicolas Cage did a very good job playing Dracula. I think he did really good. I think the young guy, I can't remember his name, who played Renfield, I believe he did well playing Renfield. The story itself wasn't that bad. It's an entertaining watch. Like it's not a shitty movie, but it's not a great movie. It's something, if you ain't got nothing else to watch, give it a shot. You'll probably like it. Um, I'm one of those people, like, again, being a fan of the classics and stuff like that. Um, I didn't give a shit about being in therapy. You get what I'm saying? And that, I'm not going to tell you, but that you can see uh, in this, like, you know, talk, his relationship with Dracula. I don't really give a shit about none of that. But it was an okay movie. Like, it wasn't terrible by any means or nothing like that. It was entertaining. I just prefer when it comes to, when it comes to horror movies or what's supposed to be a horror movie, I want my shit horror. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a shit about somebody being in therapy in a horror movie, unless it's like, some kind of thing where it's setting up this concept of terror. That wasn't what he was doing. But like I said, it's not a bad movie. Definitely go watch it, especially since I think it's on one of the apps now. So go watch it. And of course make up your own thoughts on it. I tell everybody, don't listen to no damn body, including myself. I don't give a shit if I tell you a movie sucks or if I tell you a movie was great. Go watch it of your own accord, make up your own decision. Never, ever, 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 ever not watch a movie because someone told you it sucked, or because someone told you it was this politics or that politics, whatever the hell, or it offended them. Don't listen to that bullshit. You go watch a movie, read a book, play a video game, whatever the hell the topic may be. You go do it and make up your own damn mind. Don't ever be sheep. And that's what you're doing when you let other people dictate what you do. You're being sheep. Now, I don't mind asking somebody what they thought of a movie and them telling me their opinion, whether it was it's a good feedback or whether it's bad feedback. I'm still going to go watch it, regardless of what they told me, because I'm going to make up my own damn mind. And what Joe Blow likes doesn't mean that's what I'm going to like. Hell, even once some of my close friends have movies they prefer that I don't prefer, and vice versa. So don't ever be sheep. Stop being sheep, okay? Stop that bullshit. It's if the only reason you didn't watch a movie was because someone told you not to watch it for this reason, that reason, or whatever damn reason, don't do that. Go watch it. Make up your own damn mind. What's up, Andrew? Same thing with comics. The same thing with novels. Give it a try. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But don't ever let anyone else tell you that they didn't like it, or that it offended them, or it hurt their feelings, or it sucked to them, dictate you going to watch something or read something or whatever the case. So you gotta make your own decision. So even me talking about like Renfield, for sure, go watch it. Make up your own mind about it. Definitely. Like I said, for me personally, it was not a bad movie, but it wasn't a great movie either. It was just kind of entertaining, to a degree. So yeah, just make up your own damn mind. Um, yeah. I mean, I've definitely had it happen. Yeah, I mean, now don't get me wrong. Let's be fair. Marvel really, over the last phase, they have not left anything happening that fans trust them on. Let's be honest, because again, I don't give a shit about the 1% that wants to play the woke game, or any of that nonsense. I don't give a shit about the left or the right. I've made this shit extremely clear. So I don't give a shit about the 1% who really aren't supporting those movies and shit anyway. They're just looking for something to bitch and be moaning about and scream this white knight shit about included this, included that, yada yada yada. And the stories have went to weird places, in the sense of, it became more about someone's personal self than about the movie, about the action, about the whatever, what made those movies great. Because I don't care what movie it is, whether it's action, whether it's comedy, whether it's horror, whether it's comic related. I don't give a shit about your sexuality. I don't give a shit about who you're married to in that setting. I don't give a shit about none of your personal shit. I want to see you fighting some aliens, or I want to see you fighting some, killers, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I want the story. I don't give a shit about your sexuality. I don't give a shit about what flag you fly. I don't care. I watch movies to escape all the real life bullshit from all avenues. So, if you got to stand there and go, this is me, and this is what I'm this, that's not, you're screaming about shit. That's just a part of you, So I don't give a shit about that. I don't care about it being in my movie. I want to see you fighting the bad guy. I want to see you saving the world. I want to see you being a badass, whether you're male or female, whatever color you might be. I want to see you just being a badass, you know. And that shit has been proven to work. I don't know why you're trying to alter the formula to suit the small percentage of people that want to cry a river every time something breaks their heart and offends them. Again, both sides of the aisle. You need to ignore that batch of people they're not the ones buying your comics. They're not the ones buying your toys. They're not the ones that's probably going to see your damn movie. Let's just be honest, except for to bitch about it. Stop trying to please the people that are constantly bitching and just concentrate on the people that put you where you are. And that's the fans. And that's across the board. That's all types of walks of life that are your fans. So that's what I want to see. I want to see that. I don't want to see none of the political shit. Hang on one second. Yeah, I want to go see Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer. Oh, now see, that's another. Hey, what's up, Brian? That's another show everybody has bragged to me about, and I still have not sat down and watched that show yet. I've got to make time for Boondock Saints. Or a movie. Wait, is it a movie or is it a show? It's a movie, right? It's a movie. I've got to sit down and watch that. I just haven't had time. Yeah, William Dafoe's such a great actor. He's got a new movie now. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know anything about it, good or bad, where he's breaking into some rich person's home, I think to steal art or something, and somehow he gets locked inside it. And there's like no food, no water, no nothing. So it's like this bunker lockdown situation kind of thing. So I need to check that out too. It definitely looks interesting for sure. More power to you. I'm not. It definitely looks interesting. Sorry, I'm just clearing out some notifications here. I definitely want to see that. I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna mess with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. I'm kind of weird about animated movies outside of like DC Marvel. I don't know why. I don't really watch a ton of them. I mean, I'll watch some of the stuff that's more like, aimed towards, family oriented. Like I've watched them with my daughters. I watched them, some of them with even my grandson so far that's into some of these, Brave and Cars and Inside Out or, Hero 6 or whatever it was called. So, I'll watch like those, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't really have any interest in seeing it. I don't know if I will. Yeah, I got a feeling if Marvel's already losing a bit of money. They really got to go back to their roots of what made Phase 1 and Phase 2, incredible. Even probably Phase 3, I would say. Definitely Phase 1 and Phase 2. We weren't watching that movie and having to listen to somebody constantly talk about, what their, preferences are. I don't give a shit, you know. If the core part of your character is solely sat on their preferences, whether it's sexually or appearance wise or whatever, you're losing so much more, because the color of my skin is not who I am. It's part of who I am. There's so much more to me than that. There's so much more to me than the fact that I'm male. And I know with story, I don't mind that being just a portion of the information, but it cannot take the primary limelight of the story. Otherwise, you lose everything that the story should be. And that's connecting as the person for whom they are as a person, not what they look like or who they sleep with. So, and that's kind of the way it was in Phase 1 and Phase 2 and stuff like that, is it concentrated on the story itself, not one person or another, in the sense of making them a priority over everyone else. To be fair, I think I've only watched like maybe one, and that, which is kind of odd, because again, I'm a horror fan, and I was a massive Resident Evil fan, up until I quit, playing console games altogether. But I was there for the first, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 Resident Evil games, and I know there's been tons since then. Some really gorgeous, badass ones that I've seen, like on YouTube and stuff like that. And but for some reason, I really haven't watched much of those either, which is, like I said, kind of strange. Yeah, see, I think now again, we're just seeing the trailers, but so far what I've seen of Blue Beetle, I'm super damn interested in. Because for the trailers now, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing this preaching. Let me preach at you about what my heritage is, or let me preach at you about what my sex is, or anything like that. Now, I've only watched like one trailer though, so I don't know if anything else has happened. I try to avoid trailers and stuff until I get to go see the movie, because sadly, this day and age, no matter what genre it is, oh my God, they are terrible with their damn trailers exposing shit. Instead of just letting the movie be its own merit and people want to go see it because it's that movie, they do these damn trailers that are like a minute long, and it reveals a lot of shit sometimes. Yeah, see, you gotta stop that shit, because And I'm not, and I don't know the character that well, like when it was created and stuff like that. It could be the first Hispanic superhero. I don't have a clue about that. You know, I mean, yeah, I have no clue about that. But again, regardless of that, it's a badass character. You know, I love the kid they picked to play him. I watched him on that Cobra Kai show, and I think he's a great young actor. I'm super excited to see where he goes. I think he has a ton of potential because he can do emotional, he can do action, he can do funny. So I'm excited to see where he goes. But people have got to stop trying to preach that the only value someone has is their sex or their color or who they sleep with. You got to stop selling that as your primary feature. It's not. It's not even your second or third. I mean, it's just part of who you are. It should not be the very first thing you are. The first thing I am is a person, period. And you need to judge people on that, who they are as a person, who their character is. That's the way it should be. Too many people keep wanting to point it out. You know, this person, you know, instead of just saying this person, this happened to, it's got to be attached to something. I'm not William the male. You know what I'm saying? I'm William. My skin color doesn't make me who I am. It's just a part of me. So I mean, so they got to chill out with that shit in the movies, in my opinion, because we know he's Hispanic, and that's awesome. And I'm glad to see someone else, as someone who's, you know, I have Native American blood in me, and as someone who almost never, ever gets represented in a movie, you know, unless we're magically the bad guy, you know, I think that's one of the reasons, like I've really enjoyed the way they did the new Predator movie. With using and what's really unique about Prey, the new Predator movie, with using that native culture that they used in that movie, you can actually watch that movie where it's in their language. And forgive me, it's been a while since I talked about that movie, so I don't remember which language it was. So I apologize for that. But that was badass. But also the way they did that movie, it was just they are who you know they are who they are. It wasn't every time somebody opened their mouth, they're this native, it wasn't like that. You get what I'm saying? Like that was they did really good on that. The way they represented, but also because they had, now it's irritating me. What was the? Hang on one second, because I want to give credit to that. Because they did so damn good on it, and that's because they had. They had those tribal members in the movie and on location, giving them feedback and stuff like that, making sure clothing was correct, making sure Comanche. Jesus Christ, I was having a brain fart. So they were using the Comanche people, on site as whatever they're called. I can't remember, advisors or whatever. So that's pretty damn cool. And that's the way it should be. You go watch that. Like that movie is a great example, again, playing into my heritage. I'm Cherokee, and playing into my, native heritage. The way they handled the Comanche and the way they portrayed them in that movie is incredible. It's awesome. They did so good on it. It wasn't generic. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be any type of let's make this the focal point so everybody knows that we're using this. Because to me, that's I take that as fake. When you constantly have to tell me this, that makes me think that you're just trying to say, look at me being inclusive. Look at me being inclusive, instead of you just telling someone's story. What's up, Frederick? Yeah, and I mean, you know, the character needs to be who they are for sure, but it can't, that one aspect of themselves can't be the primary. You know, you go back and you watch any movies where the story is the focal point, and not someone's skin color or someone's sex or someone's sexual orientation. You go watch any movie where even when those are the main characters, you in the movies about the story, it's always going to be an outshine movie. You know, as long as when they treat it with respect and they treat it with honesty, and it's not like a white knight situation. Look at me, look at me, look at me. You know, I'm this, this, and this, and this is all that matters. You got a great movie when you don't do it that way. I'm sorry, you just do. And, you know, so like me being, you know, with the Native American blood, I'm able to look at like that new Predator movie, the way they handled the Comanche and the way the Comanche representatives were on site to say, no, this is how it would be. This is how we were. This is how we are. This is how we look, you know, representation wise. But it wasn't the focal point. That movie is incredible. And if you haven't watched that movie, you damn sure missing a great movie. That's a great movie. So make sure you go check that out. The recent Predator movie called Prey. But yeah, there's tons. Let's see what other. Let's talk about Transformers. We've had enough time with Transformers. Okay, so if you haven't watched Transformers and you don't want to know nothing, which to be fair, I don't remember a lot of it because I only watched it once, and I watched it, you know, not too long after it came out. But if you don't want to hear anything, here's your chance. You know, spoilers could be happening, but you've had more than enough time, so don't cry at me if I or someone in chat were to say something that you didn't know or you haven't watched it yet. That's not my fault. You've had plenty of time to go watch it. But yeah, let's talk about Transformers, Beast Wars style movie. I think it was a good movie. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. No time was I sitting there going, when is this going to be over or anything like that. I loved how they, you know, made everyone look. I think they did really good on the looks. I'll definitely watch it again for sure. Like I said, I don't have anything negative. I mean, the timeline shit's a little jacked up, but this is supposed to be separate from the other shit. So it doesn't have anything to do because, you know, we already kind of saw Unicron in one movie, but that's a separate movie and it supposedly has nothing to do with this stuff. This is just like the sequel from the Bumblebee movie in a new scenario. I like the way they did the characters. The human characters, they weren't too bad, you know. I mean, I do kind of think it was a little weird that the young lady who is an assistant, intern, or whatever you want to call it at the museum is the one that gets pulled into all of it. It seems a bit strange that would happen, but it's not something that has to be different or completely destroys anything. It just kind of pulls you out a little bit, but not much. The kid that's playing, or the guy that's playing the main guy in it, I think he did okay. Um, I don't know. Like I'm trying to remember if there was anything that just kind of stood out. Um, that I was like, oh, that sucked. Um, yeah, I can't think of anything. I mean, it was kind of cool. They explained like how the main bad guy in it, not Unicron, but the his main henchman, like they kind of gave a little explanation of why he was so tough. Because he was tougher than a lot of the Autobots, including Prime at certain moments. Um, and then that's because Unicron feeds him power, energon power at certain moments. So that's how he's a bit more powerful than everyone else. I definitely like the bad guy. I thought it was pretty cool seeing someone, that because I think his name, what was his name? Scourge? Was that his name? He was one of, Unicron's stalkers. Um, Even back, I think in the original movie, when Unicron, changed Megatron into Galvatron, and he changed one of the other planes, I think, into a stalker plane called Scourge, I think, if I remember correctly. And I could be remembering wrong. I'm terrible remembering the names of shit. But yeah, I think it was pretty cool. The only thing that was a bit I think the only thing that was a bit annoying is them trying to make Mirage like the main focal point to a degree. Um, I don't think Pete Davidson's funny on any level. Um, yeah, I don't know. And I mean, it was interesting seeing them, kind of make at first, they were, and I don't, this is one of the things I don't really agree with. They're at the start, they were essentially trying to make it as if Optimus didn't give a shit about anybody but them, and that he just wanted to get off the planet and back to Cybertron, and he didn't give a shit about anything and everything around him. That's not Optimus. He's just one of those types of leaders and heroes that he doesn't want to step on anyone to get where he needs to go. So that was kind of odd that they kind of sold it like that there at first, and then he had to slowly come around to humans being just as important. That was a kind of a weird thing. I think that was stupid. That'd probably be my only real complaint about the movie, because Optimus would have never. It would have never been a case of, I need to get used to them, or I need to see them, shine before I can let them into my inner circle. Like that would have never been Optimus ever. So that was definitely, I think, my only main complaint about the movie. That was just weird. Um, but but overall, I think it was a great movie. I kind of hated they didn't bring what's her name back for it. I think that would have been kind of cool if she had been involved. Now, what's up? What's going on, guys? Um, we're talking about the new Transformers, so just a heads up in case you haven't seen it. So now the sleight of hand kind of thing at the end was a little weird too. Okay. Where, and again, like I said, if you hadn't seen it, spoilers, but at this point, if you were going to watch it, you probably would have watched it. So the little sleight of hand kind of thing at the end kind of threw me off too, where it looked like Optimus was going to sacrifice himself, and then they kind of saved him. I think me personally, in movies, and there is an alternate ending to that movie, by the way. You may not know about, that was reshot for the theatrical. So what you saw in the movies is what they I think changed it to. But anyway, I think it's really good when big characters die sometimes, because you can always bring them back. Nobody's dead forever, you know. So I think it would have been more impactful, if that had happened. If he had made that ultimate sacrifice and then later they brought him back somehow, I think that would have been kind of cool. Um, you know, and of course you don't have to, but I'm just saying, like, it definitely creates more impact. Just like in the new Guardians of the Galaxy. If you haven't seen that, you should have seen it by now. I'm not concerned about spoilers. But just like even in the new Guardians of the Galaxy, Jesus Christ, you had like, what was it, like 2 or 3 oh shit, somebody died moments, or it seemed that way in that movie. And you had the first one again. If you hadn't seen it by now, I'm not concerned. But like the first one was, Rocket redlined, on the table, and you thought he was dead because he was redlined for a minute, and then they brought him back. Okay. Then there at the very end, you have what you thought was going to be the end of Quill, and as New Gamora calls him, Quail. And then that didn't happen. Like, I don't know. There's no point in doing it. If you're not going to go through with it, I mean, having one might be okay. One oh shit moment, make everybody's butthole pucker and everybody get teary eyed. Sure. But do it multiple times and they give you the win anyway. I don't know. I like seeing, that's one of the reasons Game of Thrones is one of my favorite books and TV shows, especially. That's why Walking Dead was one of my favorite TV shows until they got rid of all the main damn characters, and then tried to crutch along till the last season. Was because, like, for me, when someone is not scared to kill off a main character, that's huge to me. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is badass. I mean, I hate to see that character leave, of course. I mean, it's the same thing with Psycho Sal. There's going to be main character deaths in Psycho Sal. I'm not afraid to kill off a main character, just like in those other books and those other movies. I mean, again, I hate to see some of those characters leave, man. I get extremely attached to really good written characters, especially if they have, whether they're a really good bad guy, or they're a really good hero. I hate to see it when they go. Like even that little shit on Game of Thrones, the Prince. That little dude should have an Emmy or something, or whatever the hell they get for TV shows. Because that little dude that played the Prince, the king eventually, that little spoiled psychotic asshole was so good. You hated every breath he took. And even when he died, I was like, oh shit, man, damn. I was super like, there's part of you that's going, hell yes, get that little shit. And then there's that part going, oh shit, who's going to be the big baddie now? Because he did so good. Same thing with a hero. You can't, in my mind, if you want a really badass stories, and it's a gamble, it's a super gamble killing off a mainstay character. I mean, Jesus Christ, in Game of Thrones, look how quick they killed off Ed Stark. I think that's the fastest I've ever seen, and everybody loved Ed Stark. Am I saying his name right? Wasn't it Ed? Ed Stark? What was his name? Ed. It was Ed, wasn't it? What was his name? Stark. You know what I'm talking about, the father. Was it Ed? No, it wasn't Ed. What was it? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, the Stark father, the Warden of the North, Eddard Stark. That's it, right? Eddard. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. That blew me out of the water when that happened. I was like, no, they're not. And then the sword goes up, and I'm like, no, they're not, because that was like the first big kill. You thought the story was him. Like, because I've never read the books until the show. I didn't start reading the books till after the show, and I listened to them on books on audio while I'm driving. So I don't even think I'm still through the first damn book on books on audio. But, that was like one of the few times you've ever seen that happen on a major TV show, because you thought the story was going to be about Eddard. Or, again, if you didn't know the books, that's what you would think. And, even as the sword was coming down, I'm still in denial. I'm like, no, there's no way they're going to do this shit. And then bloop, bloom, bloom, bloom. I was like, holy shit. So, now again, like I said, it is a super gamble for sure. You got to have some backup characters that can feel that. I think that's where Walking Dead shot themselves in the foot, is because they got rid of everyone in that show except for like 2 people from the first season. That was it. Daryl and Carol was the first season characters, and then second season I think is when what's her name came into it, and that's all you got left. And I mean, I don't know. I know I lost interest at that point. You killed off all the characters too quickly. But I do think it's more impactful that way. So like, even with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, in my opinion, I think one of those 2 people should have died. And really and truly, probably Quill, I mean, I don't know. I think it's good for someone to kind of bounce every once in a while. Yeah, exactly. See, like all that shit with Loki, like in my personal opinion, and I like what's his name. I love him as Loki. But in my personal opinion, Loki was done. He ran his course. He gave his life to save his brother, or to get, to give his brother more time or whatever it was. I think it should have been done right there. This whole, we'll just erase that because we can spin him off in this little show because, teeny boppers like him and we'll get them to watch the show. Me personally, I watched Loki. It was okay. It's okay. It wasn't end all be all. It's just okay. And I love him as Loki, but I think he should have stayed dead. I really do. Except for maybe pulling him in at some part, with one of the multiverse shit. And I get that that's kind of what the TV show was, is talking about the multiverse and the way they do shit. I get that, but I just don't think it should have been Loki. I don't know. I don't think the show should have popped off at all. I don't know. Maybe it'll get better with the second season. And it wasn't a shitty show. It's just, it was just okay, in my opinion. Now you watch it and you make up your own thoughts and whatever, but just my opinion. But I mean the same thing. When you start making shows where you're making the person's sexuality the primary, and you're making their skin color the primary, or you're making their sex the primary, you're losing all the storytelling. You're making it a one-dimensional thing about one subject. And when you're sitting there trying to do a show and all you're doing is bashing, and I don't give a shit whether it's you're bashing females or you're bashing males or you're bashing whomever, if that's all you're doing through the majority of the damn show is taking, shitty shots at the other person because of who they are as a person, that's my opinion of you. So that's why, I didn't give a shit about She-Hulk, because it was just one damn look at me, I do everything better because I'm this sex bullshit. And it's stupid. There's certain things that certain people do better because they're male or female than the other. And it goes both ways. Same thing with everything. Nobody's perfect at everything. Nobody is better than anybody else at everything. There's certain things you might be better at than the other person because of your, your sexuality or whatever the case may be. But that doesn't make someone less than you. So I'm not into the taking shots at one another or trying to belittle one another. Now I watched the first episode of She-Hulk again, so I can make up my own judgment about it. And I watched the last episode because usually on a TV show, Those are your two best episodes most of the time, the first episode and the last. And that'll tell you pretty much what you need to know about what happened in between the episodes. And there was something about the CGI that just threw me off. Now, I was watching an interview with someone who works in the industry as a FX artist, and they were talking about how She-Hulk looked so off from Banner as Hulk, and in the MCU, and because you would think it's the same damn technology, they're using. So he was going over that a lot of times what happens is when you're doing the Hulk, there's so much line work, there's so much detail, there's so much everything that's involved with his look and his face and everything, that it looks more proper, it looks more intense, it looks more real to a degree. But they said when you try to do a female as the Hulk, you can't put all those lines because the female version is softer in the skin, more rounded in areas, more, not as much line work in the faces, around the eyes, around the mouth, as men tend to have. When they make faces, they get, all these different lines and stuff. It's the same way when we draw them. When we draw women versus when we draw men, that's the biggest difference, is there's less lines because you're giving them this elegance and this softness to their skin and stuff like that. You're not putting all these just wrinkles and all these lines, because with guys, you're doing it to give them that aggressive look. And we do have them. I mean, we got tons of lines and stuff in our face and shit like that. But so he said that's what a lot of it is when you're used to looking at the majority of CGC and it's these over the top line work and things like that. And then you see this She-Hulk character who is, softer on the lines and, less detail into it because of it being that version of a person compared to the other, that it messes with your eye and it makes it look cheap and look off. So, I mean, I don't know, because there's not really anything else out there that I can compare it to, because I can't think of anything else. So, I mean, and of course he's a professional. So, I mean, obviously I'm going to kind of take his thought process on it than my own thought process. But there was definitely something about it that didn't look right. And also, I'm just one of those people, if you're just throwing somebody in a damn movie just because, it's stupid to me. Like them throwing, Megan Thee Stallion or whatever her damn stupid ass name is into that movie, into that show. It's just stupid to me. But also, I'm one of those people, I can't stand twerking. I think it's the most degrading, stupid shit I've ever seen in my life. It's like up there with mullets. Twerking is up there with the it's in the barrels of society where I put, and again, this is just my opinion, but I put twerking in the same cesspool of people bouncing their tits on Twitch and Instagram and everything else to get attention. That's where I put it, because to me, it's not a sexy dance. It's not. It looks like you're starved for attention, and that's that you're bouncing is the only thing you bring to the table. That's what it makes me think of. Because there's tons of beautiful, sexy ass dances out there. Holy Jesus, that's some bottom of the barrel shit. Like I said, I put it down there with saggy ass pants and mullets. Get mad at me if you want to. I think mullets should be outlawed, and I think sagging ass pants should be outlawed, and I think twerking should be outlawed. That's the shit people ought to be offended over. Not some damn movie or some damn song. Your ass ought to be offended over sagging ass pants, twerking, and mullets. That's what you ought to be. That's what you ought to be upset over. Well, I'm not talking about the comic book. I'm not concerned about the comic book. We draw, comic books are drawn the exact same way to a degree. Men have tons of lines drawn on them, and women don't. It's just the softness of it is what you're trying to do. So they do that, in CGI also in FX. But he said, like I said, that FX guy said that it's just one of those things that it can mess with your visual, and it make you think something's wrong with it. But yeah, to me, there was something weird about it for sure. You know, but oh. But the so I mean, so you got, you know, so you got that show that didn't do well. You got Loki did okay. Um, you know, but if you're, you know, also I'm a big believer in, even whether you have doubts, because it's real easy to have doubts with Marvel right now. They've kind of lost their direction, in my opinion. They've kind of lost. They're trying to please the small, and they're forgetting about the people that made them who they are. Star Wars is guilty of that shit too. You got to stop trying to cater to new fans, because new fans will come, no matter what it is, no matter whether it's comics, no matter whether it's TV, no matter whether it's movies. Especially when you have history, when you got decades upon decades of fans, you have to cater to them. Make the shit that made them your fans. Because when you have millions of people that are your fans of Star Wars, you can't concern yourself with these. We want some new fans. We got to show everybody how special we are now. You got to stop that shit. Because those new people are not the ones that spent, you know, hell, in a lifetime, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars buying your merch, going to see your movies from just one person. You know, so you take someone that's, you know, 40, 50 years old, that's been a Star Wars fan from day one, there's no telling how much money they spent on you. You know, those are the people you got to concentrate on, because you'll get new fans as long as you're putting out good product. Because here's the thing, when you cater to the people that are already your millions and millions of fans, that's guaranteed money right there. They're going to go see your movies. They're going to go buy your video games. They're going to go buy your toys and T-shirts, etc., etc. So you already got that guaranteed money. So make them happy, because those fans, they're going to bring in those new people. They're going to post about it, and someone who's maybe never watched it is going to go take a chance. And now you got a new fan. Or they're going to bring their spouse that they have at that current moment, that may have never seen any of them, and now they're watching it, and now they're a fan. That's where your new fans come in, is just putting out quality work and existing fans pulling them in. You got to stop pissing off the millions to get the couple 100,000. You got to use better common sense. Yeah, Punisher's already changed. They killed him off a month or so ago, and now they just debuted a new Punisher. I think at San Diego Comic-Con. Some white dude with blonde hair that, you know, or at least it looked blonde on the picture I saw. So I don't know. You know, it's because the great thing about, whether it's comics or whether it's, you know, Star Wars or whether it's the MCU, whatever the case may be, you got built-in fan base. You ain't got to reinvent the wheel. You can just make movies. I mean, shit, comic fans are the easiest in general. Now, they also can be the bitchiest, but they are the easiest in general, because you could literally set your ass down, take one of the great stories from, let's say, the X-Men. Let's say Inferno. That's a great one. Inferno. Extinction Agenda. That's a good one. The actual Age of Apocalypse storyline. You could take any of those three, just to name a few, and you could literally take those books, buy the trade paperback, whatever the case, and load that bastard into your computer, word for word, in script format of what that book is. Shoot that movie word for word, motion for motion, into a 3-hour movie, 2-hour movie of what you can from that storyline. And you wouldn't have to do shit else. You would have fans that would just haul ass to that movie and love it. You don't got to reinvent the wheel. You didn't have to do Age of Apocalypse the way they did. That was hot shit. Especially compared to the real storyline. Oh my God, that's a great story. That would have been a holy hell moment. Just like Days of Future Past. That would, now don't get me wrong, I liked Days of Future Past, but it definitely had more potential. It could have been. But Age of Apocalypse, that was some hot shit. That was trash. Phoenix, the other movie, Dark Phoenix, whatever the hell it was called, that was hot shit. I'm sorry, it was. I mean, they made stupid decisions. I mean, even if you go back to First Class, I think it was First Class. The young kid that played the one they call Darwin, the one that adapts to anything, like that's literally his mutant ability. He adapts to anything on the instant he's exposed to it. Which means if you throw his ass in the bottom of the ocean, he immediately adapts to it and can breathe underwater. If you throw him into a burning building, he immediately adapts to it, and whatever, however he adapts to it, but he would immediately adapt to where fire and smoke didn't hurt him. Like that's his mutant ability. And dude shoves a firecracker in his mouth and he dies. Give me a fucking break. It's like it's that stupid shit. It's just, and that's what irritates fans because these are. You don't got to redo fans. You don't have, characters. And sadly, a lot of the X-Men movies, with Singer was super bad about it. Trying to tell stories that didn't make no damn sense. And or he'll take really good mutants and he'll combine them into some new mutant, and try to tell that character. I'm like, what the hell, Just like the way he handled Sabretooth in the first movie. He made Sabretooth almost like a mute idiot to a degree. It was stupid. But that's Singer for you. He's got a bad habit. A lot of directors have a bad habit of that shit. Well, I've got to tell my own story. No, you don't. Go make your own damn movie if you want to tell your own story. But if you're going to tell comic book movies or if you're going to tell Star Wars movies, tell the shit that matters and stick true to the source material. And you will have a insanely happy audience that will go watch your movie multiple times in the theater and then buy the shit when it comes out on DVD. So you got to, there's no doubt about it. I love the concept of the multiverse. There's so much you can do with that. Oh my God, there's so much you can do with the multiverse. So it opens the doors for a lot of really cool storylines, etc. If they do it right. Because like that new, and y'all have had enough time. So now I'm going to talk about the Flash movie because I haven't talked about the Flash movie since it came out. So I'm about to talk about it. So if you haven't watched it and you're going to watch it, this is your warning. But to be honest with you, if you were going to watch it, you would have watched it by now. So give you a little warning. I'm about to talk about the Flash movie. Okay. All right. That's plenty of time. That movie's shit. That movie is shit. It's shit on top of shit on top of shit. The only thing about that movie that it was, and again, this is just my opinion, but now to be fair, I'm not a movie basher. Like I'll give movies their credit whether I liked it or not. I can play devil's advocate. You've seen me do it before. But I'm telling you right now, especially as someone who is a Batman fan and who is a DC fan, my oldest daughter is a massive Flash fan. Oh, she hates Ezra. She hates Ezra with a passion. And rightfully so. The little shit shouldn't have been in the movie. I mean, he only kidnapped somebody and he assaulted multiple people and shit like that. And his ass still isn't in jail, which we know why. But anyway, that's a discussion for another time. Um, but yeah, that movie is shit. And I hate it because Flashpoint, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion, but definitely in my opinion, is probably one of the hands down, in my opinion, one of the best storylines that have ever been told. It is an incredible uh, graphic novel, and it's an incredible animated movie. That is, I love the Flashpoint. The fact that they even called this movie, or calling it a Flashpoint movie, was such trash. That movie, the only thing good about that movie, in my opinion, and please, again, just because I'm saying this, do not watch it because what I'm saying. Go watch the movie, make up your own mind. I don't give a shit that I'm going to be kind of talking shit on it here in just a moment. I hated it, but do not let that stop you from watching it. You go watch that movie, make up your own mind. Again, don't be sheep. I don't give a shit even if I'm the one telling you it sucked or it was great or whatever the case may be. Don't let other people dictate what you expose yourself to, okay? Follow through and watch it yourself, and you make up your own mind. But in my opinion, that movie is hot shit, and it is layered upon layers of shit. The only thing good about that movie was the young lady who played Kara. Is it Kara? Kara or Kara? Anyway, played Supergirl. I love her as Supergirl. I think she did the role beautifully. And of course, Michael Keaton. Loved seeing Michael Keaton again. He's one of my all-time favorite Batman. As far as classic Batman, he's one of my absolute favorites. I love Batman. Batman Returns is two of my favorite movies. I've always been a big fan of Michael Keaton. I've loved him, since all his old movies, like Mr. Mom and Multiplicity and all these other movies that he's done. I think I've seen probably even the one where he played what was he played a serial? No, he didn't play a serial killer. He played a psycho neighbor or something. Pacific something. I can't remember the name. That's a good movie. Oh my God! If you haven't seen that movie with Michael Keaton where he's playing a psychopath, holy shit! It's so good. It's so good. But anyway, I've been a fan of him for a long time. So his portions of the movie were really good, really good. Him and her are the only thing that makes that movie watchable at all. Ezra is shit. And I mean, even if you take away him as a person being a terrible person, his acting is shit, and his portrayal of Flash is shit. He runs completely idiotic. I mean, 100% pathetic, terrible representation. His mannerisms and his dialogue and everything, the way he plays it is like a bumbly idiot. And Barry Allen is not an idiot. Now he's a smart ass and he's a bit funny, but he's not an idiot. Yeah, that's right. He was Vulture. Vulture in Spider-Man. That's right. Yeah, I love Michael Keaton. I think I've seen probably every movie he's ever been in. Incredibly talented actor, but yeah, he's the only thing that makes that movie watchable. Like the last, I don't know, 10 minutes of the movie, 15 minutes of the movie, or the last 20 minutes that had Michael and Supergirl in it. That was good. But like I said, that's just my opinion. You definitely watch it for yourself and make up your own mind. But that movie's that's sad. They should have scrapped his ass. Um, Hang on one second. Um, so, but like I said, definitely go watch yourself, make up your own mind. Because I love the scenes, like the last 20 minutes of the movie or what it was. Michael Keaton was incredible in my mind, in my opinion. The young lady that played Supergirl, I think, did extremely well. Zod, the guy that played Zod, coming back to do these shoots for the movie, he did great. So yeah. Yeah, now that Grant, what was his name? Grant something. Grant. I can't remember the guy's the young guy who plays him on the TV show. That's, in my opinion, that's who should have been Flash in the movie. Um, a lot of people say that too. I think that kid did great on the TV show. Now, don't get me wrong. I watched that TV show hardcore when it first came out. I watched it for about the first season, and then I quit. 2 reasons. Well, actually, I think I quit around the second season. I think I watched it through to the second season, and that's when I quit. I quit right whatever season it was that Zoom came into it. The guy in the black suit, which I loved that character. Whatever season that was, season 2, season 3, whatever it was. I quit after that. I quit. 3 things chased me off that show, and I've not watched it since. One, after about season 3, everybody and their mama was faster than Flash. People that got their damn powers 5 minutes ago were faster than Flash. So that became a recurring stupidity. So that chased me away. Then the other thing that chased me away was Iris. I hated that her damn role, the way they wrote her. It was stupid as hell. That girl went from making coffee in a coffee house to all of a sudden she's a big time reporter. That was stupid. And everything everything became Team Iris, Team Flash. And they had too many people. And that's one of the reasons I quit watching Green Arrow. Too many people. Once there's 15 damn people in the show, I'm done. Because it's not Green Arrow and Team 20. It's not Flash and Team 20. It's Flash. It's Green Arrow. I'm okay with a couple of supporting characters, but once you have 10 plus damn people, I'm done, But the last thing that chased me away from Flash was the way they wrote her. She didn't give a shit about Barry. Barry's the good guy. Barry's the guy that would have been the awesome boyfriend. Barry's the guy that was friend zoned by her, like everyone else in the world. That's the good guy. She didn't want shit to do with Barry, not even on a minor level, until she found out he was Flash. Now that she knows that he's super well known and has that fame, now she wants to be Team Flash. Now she wants to be the girlfriend. That's no different than some gold digger that found out you were rich and now all of a sudden she wants to date you. She didn't want shit to do with you while you was you. But the minute you won the lotto, all of a sudden she's ready to be your girlfriend. I can't stand that mentality. I hate that bullshit ass way of thinking, and it happens every damn day. Tons of great guys get friend zoned because of that bullshit, and nobody wants anything to do with them unless there's some kind of fame attached to it. So that I was done with that shit, because again, and again, once she got involved with that, it became she made the majority of decisions and shit about her. I was done. I was like, this is stupid. I'm done. Yeah, but even Gotham stayed true to the individual characters. So those storylines would involve 1 or 2 people. Gotham is a great example, even though it was, getting a little crowded. But to be fair, Gotham is a great show that handled it way better than Green Arrow did, or way, way, way better than what Flash did. So definitely check out Gotham if you guys haven't watched it. That entire series is worth watching. It got a little crowded there towards the end. And like all shows now, there's up and downs about each episode. You can't be spiking perfect episode every episode. So, and I'm not talking about shit that could just kind of up and down the episode. Oh, well, that one was okay, but it wasn't as good as the last. Like, that's normal for long running shows. You're going to have hot spots and cold spots. That's okay. But once you start making some damn coffee making, news reporting, all of a sudden, now she's team this and that. That's your main focus of the damn show over the damn hero. I'm done. It's bullshit. I wish they would kill Iris off as far as I was concerned. So was a lot of other people. They hated, and it's not her fault. Like, I don't have an issue with her as an actress. It's the character. It's the way they wrote her. That's bullshit. Yeah, it gets thick. Like, and even with Gotham, there's a few characters I could have done without on that show. Like I said, it got a little hectic. But that's also, like, it made sense for Gotham to get a bit busy, to get a bit cluttered, because you don't have anyone that's protecting the city. This is an origin story, how everything got so carried away that Bruce had to become Batman to try to fix it. So obviously when you got a city, you see one bad guy, then you see another bad guy. Then the other bad guys see those bad guys getting away with shit, making tons of money. Now those bad guys come in and these bad guys come in. Now they're fighting for territory. So it makes sense in the way it was handled in Gotham. Those are the villains. You get it? It's an origin story, and the people that are getting pulled in are the villains. So you have more villains. You didn't roll into, Wayne Manor and there were 20 damn people trying to help the good guy. Why? To fight one bad guy. You get what I'm saying? It was completely flipped. Yeah, exactly. So that's what makes the shit stupid. If Flash is not Team Flash, there is no Team Flash. There is no Team Arrow. It's the Green Arrow with one or two cohorts. It's Flash with one or two cohorts. It is not 20 damn people versus one villain. That's what made the shit stupid. Because then every single one of them's got to have their own little moment of drama and shit that ain't got nothing to do with the superhero story. And again, this is just my opinion. Again, you watch these shows and you make up your own mind. Don't let me deter you from watching anything, because you may like it. It may be your bread and butter. So don't let me, again, don't be sheep. Stop being sheep. Stop choosing not to go watch a movie because your buddy said it sucked, or because your buddy said they were offended by it. Get off your ass and go watch the movie, go watch the TV show, make up your own decision. Even with me, don't listen to what I'm saying. Go watch it yourself and make up your own thoughts on it. Cleanest. I don't remember that movie. Now, Daredevil is another one that's a good. Now, Daredevil is a good example of a show that so that there you go. That's a good example of a show. It's not overcluttered. He didn't have no Team Daredevil. He didn't have Team Double D's. He had him, and then he had the lawyer side that had two people that helped him. Super tight knit group. That's all you need. If you need 15 damn people to tell a story in your damn shit, you're doing it wrong. Period. Your focal point should, in a superhero comic, or TV show, your focal point should be the hero and the villain. Everyone else is back fodder. It's back screen shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you call it. That's it. They are not the focal point. They are not the primary. I don't give a shit about their relationships. I don't give a shit about their struggles. I want to know what's going on with the hero, and I want to know what's going on with the bad guy. And that's what you need to stick to. Same thing in comic writing. If you're writing comics, the only damn time you should be team what the fuck ever is when it's an actual team versus some other team. The only time it should be team is if it's JLA, or if it's Avengers, that kind, you know what I mean? It should not be, here's Batman, but here's Team Batman. Like, I don't even want to see that shit. You know, I don't care. I don't give a shit about the Bat family. I don't want to see, I mean, an occasional crossover or something where you have the Bat family or you had Team Flash occasionally in a show. Sure. I can deal with that. Okay. You know, some big baddie that you got to have help with. But every damn episode is Team Flash. And every damn episode, I got to sit and listen to you talk to Iris about what you need to do as a hero. First off, she ain't got no damn opinion. I'm sorry. She ain't a hero. She's not putting her life out there every single day to fight shit the way the hero is. I don't give a shit about her opinion about what he should or shouldn't do. That's for him to decide, you know? Now, her being concerned, sure, whatever. But this Team Flash shit, no. But yeah, Daredevil is a great example of a TV show that's talking about a solo hero, but they do it in they do the extra characters in a really legit way. Same with Punisher. Punisher was a great show with what's his name. If you have not watched Daredevil, damn sure watch it. Dude does an incredible job as both Daredevil and Matt Murdock. And what's his name that plays the Punisher does a great job as the Punisher. Two incredibly good TV shows that's done the right way. So definitely go check those out for sure. Because even when they brought, like Danny just said, even when they brought Elektra in, the way it was done, she didn't overpower the main character. Daredevil's the main fucking character, period. I don't give a shit who else you put in it. Same way with Flash TV show. Flash is the main character. It's not Iris. It's not Cisco. It's not any damn body else in that building. It's Flash. You know, Berthal, yeah. So yeah, you know, those three shows, like as far as comic related stuff that was converted to a TV show, those three I think are three of the best that I can think of offhand. Punisher, Daredevil, and Gotham. Those three shows are badass. Definitely check those shows out if you haven't done it. Incredibly good. Yeah, because I can't. I mean, there may have been another show. I don't know. I can't think of another. But yeah, those three, 100% worth watching in my personal opinion. Another one, you know, let's jump back over to the Marvel side. Now, another show that I have to give Marvel kudos for because they blew me out of the water. And I hate it was a one shot. And I get why they did it as a one shot because they probably were scared that wouldn't work this day and age. A black and white movie about classic monster. Wow, now I'm having a brain fart. I just had the name of the show on my damn tongue. Werewolf by Night. Holy hell. That, if you have not watched, it's a one app. I think it's, is it one episode? Is that what it is? It's a one shot? Or is it one season? One season? I can't remember. Damn. Because I watched it all back to back. Anyway, regardless of what it is, whether it was multiple episodes, either way, it was a one shot. So it was either one episode or it was one season. I can't remember which one it was, but it's a one. They claimed they weren't doing no more of that one. And I hate that because that damn show again, but again, I'm classic Wolfman. That movie was shot in black and white. The way they did everything in that show, I loved. Werewolf by Night, freaking badass. Now, I didn't mind Moon Knight mostly. I think it's worth a watch, but his consistent crying and shit, oh, that got on my nerves. Like if you get exposed to that, I know it's a shock and you don't get it. You don't understand what's going on. You're scared. You're upset. But after about 2 or 3, changes and what, and the other personalities telling you what's going on, and you're kind of like, oh shit, okay, I'm a hero, or I'm this or that. You got to kind of come to grip with it, right? I mean, that dude bitched and cried almost the entire damn show. And I like him as an actor. So, I mean, so you got to, a lot of this stuff you take with a grain of salt. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be an exact to any damn book or anything. So there is a lot of it, but like these people I've seen recently that are just coming out the gate bashing on a TV show or a movie, in my personal opinion, you're being stupid, because you haven't seen the damn movie. First off, you can't bash anything. You can't talk shit on anything that you have not watched and experienced. I don't give a shit what your best buddy Bo told you, or your best cousin Sarah, or your best I'm offended by everything Karen told you. If you have not physically sat your ass down and watched it, or read it, or listened to it, or whatever the case may be, and you're saying that it's going to suck, or you're saying it's shitty, I don't know. That's a level of stupidity for me. That's sheep mentality is the way I look at it. Now, you sitting back saying, oh shit, well, hell is probably going to suck like the other. Like, even though you don't know that, I mean, I can kind of get that comment, because if you watch the bullshit they've done over the last phase, the odds are not in their favor that they're going to do something smart. Let's just be honest. They're too busy trying to be in the woke crowd. And trying to do shit that has nothing to do with the stories. So, I mean, yeah, I get that comment. I totally understand that comment. Well, it's probably going to suck. I mean, shit, look what they've been doing. Like, I get that comment. But when you sat back and you just got this hate going, oh, I am not going to watch it. It's shit. And I suggest everyone else to not watch it also. Don't be that dumbass. Okay, that's dumbassery to the 10th level. First off, you can't make that comment for everyone else, and you shouldn't be telling everyone else what to go see and what not to see. I don't give a shit if it's that stupid ass song that's playing, or if it's that Sound of Freedom movie that's in the theaters. You have no right to tell anyone else what they can listen to or can't, or what they should watch or shouldn't watch. It doesn't matter whether you love the MCU or hate the MCU. You have no right to tell anyone else what they should or shouldn't be watching. And you need to make up your own damn mind. Don't be sheep, because that's what you're doing when you allow someone else to tell you not to go watch something. And again, I don't give it shit whether it's just because they didn't like it, or whether they somehow magically figured out a way to be offended by it. You don't listen to people telling you what to do. And I get it sounds like I'm telling you what to do right now, but at the end of the day, you don't have to listen to me either. You make your own decision about that too. But I'm just saying, give shit a try, because there's been movies, there's been books, there's been TV shows that I had absolutely zero interest in watching, no interest whatsoever. And someone, suggested me to watch it, and I gave it a shot and I loved it. Now, if I'd have been one of those people that, because I heard someone else saying they didn't like it and I didn't go watch it, I would have missed out. Because I mean, like, even with Justified, I'm not into cop shows, and that one's about a U.S. Marshal in Kentucky. And, I knew who Timothy was as an actor. I liked him as an actor. And I've saw people saying they didn't like the show, and then I had someone tell me they did like it. So I've heard both sides of the road, and I went and watched it myself and made my own decision. I loved it. I was hooked from the first episode. And again, that's one of those movies or shows that's not really my thing at all. The same thing like back when CSI Las Vegas first came out, the very first CSI show. Again, someone told me I should give it a shot, and I did, and I loved it. I was hooked on that. I've watched, what is it, like 14 or 15 seasons to that show. I've probably watched the entire run 2 or 3 times. Still, I can go in there and watch that show right now, and it wouldn't bother me. A great show. Now, I don't care for the others, and I gave them a shot. Couldn't get into it, especially the one about the dude in Florida, the guy that's always, always got to pull his shades off. Horatio, her hemorrhoid, whatever his damn name is, Horatio. He's always got to pull those glasses off, man. Stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. I can tell you right now, as someone who wears glasses and shades, we don't do that. So I don't know where the hell that shit came from, but we don't do that. Okay. When we have an intense moment that happens, we don't do that. God, it's so damn stupid. But anyway, so yeah, so there's some good stuff floating around. There's some good movies coming out. Some good movies that have already come out, good TV shows. So there's still some stuff out there for you to check out. And like I said, even though I hated the Flash movie, you should watch it. Even though I hated the She-Hulk show, and again, to be fair, I only watched the first episode and the last episode. And again, for that reason is because those are usually your best episodes. And if I can't get hooked on the first episode, or see what happened in the second to make the last episode to make me wonder what happened in between, it's a shit show for me. Oh, hell yeah. I love the miniature killer, the serial killer. Oh my God. Yes. That was my favorite storyline out of that entire show was the miniature killer. That was so good. Damn. Now I want to go watch CSI Las Vegas. Love that show. Love the characters, the people that played in it. I loved every single one of them. Really got attached to them. Same way with like Justified. And for me, that's what matters. Like I need to get attached. Like I've had one person ask me, like, couldn't you have had Psycho Sal be going crazy there in the first couple of issues and interacting? And I could have. We could have told that story where it was more in your face, but we wanted to build a universe. And in order to do that, you have to show the characters. You have to show who they are as a person. You have to get the fans reading your book attached to the characters. Whether you kill one off or whether you severely damage one, whatever the writing takes it, that's a different story. But if you just go balls out, action out the gate when you're trying to create a universe, you're going to have wham, bam, and we're done. So that's why I like shows like that. That's why I love shows like CSI. It built up all those characters. And same thing with Justified. It builds those characters. Same thing with Game of Thrones. It builds those characters. And you get exposed to them, whether you love them, hate them, whatever the case may be. After issue number 4, you saw a little bit of the way Psycho Sal was in issue 3 with his creepiness, and you're really going to see that shit in issue number 4. So I mean, make sure in my opinion, I want to make sure that those characters are told that way because I want you attached to the main characters, and that's the way those TV shows are for me. And when you have 10 or 15 damn people with Team Flash, you can't get attached to none of those damn people. They can't get enough screen time for you to get attached to them. That's why people got real attached to, the supporting characters in the Daredevil show with what's her name and his buddy in the law office. That's why everyone got super attached to them, because they got tons of screen time, even without overshining, Daredevil. And you get attached to him. Same thing with Gotham. You get attached to, the guy playing Alfred and what's his name playing the Commissioner Gordon, et cetera, et cetera. So that's, for me, that's the best type of storytelling is when you stay focused on, 2 or 3 people at the most. When you get into that damn baseball team of damn people, I'm done. I'm like, I don't give a shit about none of these people, And we try to do that with Psycho Sal too. is we want you guys getting attached to the lead characters, and then going into issue 4, we want you guys getting attached to Tony, the young lady that's one of the victims. So for me, I love that kind of storytelling. But anyway, I'm going to get off here, guys. I've been chatting with you guys for about an hour and 40 minutes. So thank you for hanging out and chatting. I wish I could have had more guests on you to bounce stuff off of, but it was spur of the moment, Sunday midday. Most people are doing family time. Some people are at Comic-Cons. Some people are traveling back from Comic-Cons. No, today's Sunday. They're not traveling. They're still at Comic-Cons. And then, some people are, probably just now waking up, night owls and shit like that. So, but I just didn't want to sit down and work. So I figured I'd chat with you guys. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and chatting for a little bit. If you have not backed the Kickstarter, please go back it. We only have about 8 days. We only have about 8 days. Is it 8? 8 or 7, something like that. We only have 8 or 7 days left. Make sure you go back to Kickstarter. The book is about 98% done. I talked to McLean yesterday, and he's just finalizing a little bit of lettering. All the artwork's done. All the colors are done. Everything's done except for just a little bit of lettering, and that's kind of normal. But it's about 98% finished. So by the time the Kickstarter ends in about 8 days, per usual, Psycho Sound number 3 will be 100% done, and then we'll go straight to print. So all we have to wait on is the printer, and then for the books to ship, and then we'll pack them and ship them to you guys. So easy peasy. But yeah, if you have not backed my Kickstarter, make sure you go back it. Make sure you share it out if you haven't shared it. But lots of cool covers on that Kickstarter, lots of cool add-ons, some badass tiers and stuff for you to pick from in general. But yeah, anyway, you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Be good.